So today our topic is about healing begins when hurting ends. In order to throw some light on this, we have a very special guest amongst us, that is Sister Meghna. Welcome, Sister Meghna. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
So, Sister Meghna is an IT professional and she is working in Google currently. And she is also a mother of two kids. She's practicing this Raja Yoga meditation from among 7 years, and she has seen a very wonderful experiences throughout the journey. This knowledge has inspired her so that she can share this with other people, and they also can benefit out of this. So she started conducting these sessions in various places, including her workplace, and she started getting a very positive feedback. So today let's take the advantage of this platform, and let's get more information about this topic called as healing begins when hurting ends. Oh, and also just one more small thing is that in case any questions you have, you can please put forth that in the chat box, and we'll take those questions at the end of the session. Over to you, Sister Meghna.
Thank you very much. Om Shanti, everyone. Good evening
Good evening.
and welcome to Sunday session. Healing begins when hurting ends. Just wanted to say a few words about this particular topic. Overall, in my experience, I have generally been a very happy person, and I thought I didn't really have any kind of wounds inside of me. It's only through meditation and this knowledge taught at Brahma Kumaris that I found out that indeed there were some inner wounds that existed within me, and how these wounds prevented me to enjoy my life fully, to experience the most beautiful emotion, love, fully, to give myself fully to anything that I am doing. These wounds damage us in many different ways. We are so focused on the outside life, relationship wounds, or wounds on the physical health that we rarely check. There are so many inner wounds. Our emotions are damaged. Our feelings are really butchered. So today's topic is really an attempt to talk about what these wounds are, how do they get created, and how do we go about healing them. So, I would like to start off with a short meditation. So, please join me in this meditation commentary. Let's sit comfortably and take few deep breaths. With every breath out, let go of all the burdens you've been carrying. And with every breath out, move inward to be with the most beautiful being I as I am a being of love. My language is love. My expression is love. I am the child of ocean of love. In my heart, I only have beautiful feelings for myself and every being in this world because I am a being of love. Om Shanti. So we'll start off by first understanding what does it really mean? What does self-healing or the word or what the word healing means. If you look up in Google, you'll find that the definition for healing is it's a process of restoration, from unbalanced or a damaged state. Now, here we are talking about the inner being that is damaged. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our sentiments, these are the ones that are damaged. And the process of restoring it back to a healthy state is what is called healing. And few conditions that would define healing would be that the one who is moving towards healing would be able to accept the self fully with their strengths and weaknesses as they are, even though they are seeing weaknesses in them and maybe they are in the process of trying to overcome them, but still they accept themselves fully with their strengths and weaknesses. And this is not an egoistic way of accepting the self, but it's really with an intention that yes, I'm not perfect, but I do aspire to move towards my perfect self. And then such a being who's working on healing themselves will also have a lot of pure love and regard for themselves. They would be able to always maintain regard. They would never dismiss themselves by saying, hey, you are good for nothing, you can never change, you can never overcome any weakness. They would never have such kind of a self talk. Their self talk will always be very elevated, and such a being would take out the time, take out some, would make some effort, would invest in making themselves happy, making themselves more powerful, and would work on uplifting themselves. If we are making excuses that I don't have time to work on myself, to work on my inner wounds, that means I am not ready yet for healing. The person who wants to heal themselves, the one who wants to really love themselves fully, such a person will find time and will make effort. And then we should also understand what does it mean to be wounded, right? One is healed, healthy, and the other is wounded. In Hindi, you would say zakhmi. Under say zakham hai. So a wounded state obviously would be, you can also look at the difference in the picture, is that a wounded state would not be able to accept themselves. They would be very critical about themselves. They will dismiss, be very judgmental, and typically their emotions will typically be either very sad, mad. They'll always feel very demoralized and unenthusiastic. So it's important to understand, you know, if we want to heal ourselves, which is to always remain happy, stable, then we need to understand the root cause of the wounds. If we are not knowing the root cause, then we cannot really remove the wounds. So majority of the times we end up blaming someone else. They might have spoken to us in a disrespectful manner. They didn't treat us well. They didn't acknowledge us. And then we blame them for our misery. We keep crying for multiple years and we blame them for our sadness. So we say the reason for these wounds in my life are someone else. Or we end up blaming our fortune. Even though everything is going right, maybe overall financially we are doing well, our job is going well, maybe we have few relatives that love us, but there was this one individual who said something to us. We hold on to that and we curse our destiny. That I don't know, my destiny is like this. I keep ending up meeting with people who hurt me, who break my heart. And then we don't sometimes, when we don't find anyone to blame, then we blame it on God. That even He is not on my side. No matter what I do, something or the other goes wrong. He is also never looking after me. So, really, till we are blaming someone else for our misery, then there is no healing. Because obviously, if somebody else is causing these wounds, then they have to come and fix it. And many people actually wait till their deathbed and they go wounded. They leave the body wounded, and because they kept waiting for someone else to come and apologize. So, really, the root cause is not anybody else, but you might have already guessed it. Who is the creator of the wound? Who is creating this resentment, this sadness, this anger inside? Nobody can get inside of us and create it. We are the creators. We ourselves wound ourselves, and then we are crying and blaming it on others. Indeed, there are variety people in this world drama, and they have the freedom to say things, to behave in a certain manner, but then it is up to me if I want to take those words and create a wound, or do I want to stay healed? It's a choice, and majority of the times we choose to create wounds. And how do we create these wounds? It is through our own thoughts that we create these wounds. I should have been treated fairly, kindly. I'm such a kind person. I'm always nice to others. My family members should be more respectful towards me. How many sacrifices have I done for them? And this is what I get in return. This is the inner commentary that we are creating. And slowly, each of these thoughts are like thorns. They prick our hearts, they prick our mind, and we start bleeding. It could have also been that I made a mistake in the past. Maybe I was not very nice to someone, and I keep feeling guilty and I keep being very mad at myself. I'm critical of myself. That is also a wound. I'm not able to forgive myself. Or I had some kind of a bad health, and I've been having a series of health issues, and I'm holding on to those memories, saying, I don't know why my fortune is like this. Why do I keep falling sick? I take care of my health, but still. So, unknowingly, or sometimes knowingly, through our own bitter thoughts, pricky thorn like thoughts, we create wounds. And it's, before we get into how do we really start healing ourselves, it's important to understand what are the damages from staying wounded. Because till we don't understand the damages, we will not work. I think the inspiration and the motivation to work on healing comes when we understand how damaging it is to remain in the wounded state. So, first of all, you're not able to enjoy your gifts in the present. I think every individual does have something or the other in their life that they can be thankful for, whether it is decent health, few good relationships, decent financial health, a job, whatever that might be. But one bitter incident that I'm holding on to in my heart, it prevents me from enjoying all the other goodness that exists in my life. And indeed, such a person is always sad, they are crying, they are always demoralized. So, that it takes away the spirit of life. It makes you feel very, very desolated. And one of the biggest drawbacks from staying wounded is taking pain leads to giving pain. Visualize that you are in your office, your manager said something, or your colleague said something that was not very nice, and you felt really very insulted. You got back home very upset. And now someone in your house is running around, maybe your kid is running around, or they're just spilling something, and you get very mad. You start yelling at them.
Now, the pain was given to you in the office. Where are you offloading it? On your family. They are not the ones who caused the pain. Somebody else's word caused the pain, but you didn't take the responsibility of keeping yourself happy and safe. So, whenever we take pain, we end up giving pain to others. And then later there is a lot of repentance that what did I do? I shouldn't have said that. But we are not so smart that if that person gave me pain, I will give pain back to them. This person was nice, I will be nice to them. Whatever you have inside of you, that is what you will give to others. So if you are over multiple years only thinking about the bitter past, holding on to hurt for ages, then you will end up hurting many people in your life. If your heart is wounded, you will give wounds to others. But if your heart is healed, warm, full of love, you will end up giving love to others. And in that others, you are included too. Then many people who hold on to hurt, who choose to stay wounded, they end up getting addicted to many things. That addiction could be anything. It could even be shopping, TV, food, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, anything. Such people who are always sad, thinking about what people did to them, they end up living a life of an addict. And we all know how damaging that is for our physical health. And, typically we think that person did this to us. Maybe they did it for 10 minutes, or maybe it was 1 minute incident. How many times do we think about it? Maybe they broke our heart once. Nobody actually can get inside of us and break our heart. We end up breaking even that first time. But suppose we agree that someone else broke my heart once, but repeatedly thinking about it again and again, how many times do we end up breaking our own heart? It's literally like, once you are wounded, suppose you have a wound on your leg and you don't take care, you keep falling 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. Now the wound, which was this small, is really very big. Then you cannot walk. Now you are not even capable of walking. And we are, at least this is 7 days, maybe 7 wounds on the leg. But we've been wounding our heart, our inner being for ages. Imagine how much of our willpower, our mind health, our mental health we have lost. This is really very, very damaging for the soul power. The more the soul lives in bitter memories, the more it loses its willpower, its abilities, the determination. These kind of qualities and skills of the souls are destroyed. In Gita it is said, Atma apni hi mitra hai aur apni hi shatru hai. A soul is its own friend or its own enemy. And when we choose to stay wounded, we really are being our worst enemy. And a wounded heart misses out on the most beautiful experience in this world, which is the emotion of love. To be able to receive love from your parents, your siblings, your kids, your partner, your friends, you will never be able to fully receive or give love if your heart is wounded, cold, dry. In fact, such a wounded soul cannot even receive love from the most beautiful being, ocean of love, God Himself. So how damaging this unhealthy inner state can be. This is something that I would encourage you all to think about and actually invest some time in finding more flaws. There are many more damages. In the interest of time, I've only listed few. And we should ask ourselves this question: do we want to be healed or do we want to stay wounded? I think everyone will agree that end of the day, our deepest desire is to be peaceful, happy, loving, right? Nobody in this world wants to be sad. And if you look in the contrast of these two pictures, people, and I think you've met these kind of people, right? Some people, their face is always smiling. There is this peace that is radiating from their face. Their voice is so calm. You can feel the peace in their voice. Where does that come from? It's not magic. Such a person is actually working, doing some inner work. They are meditating, they are listening to knowledge, they are journaling, they are self reflecting. And you can see it in that picture how pink the cheeks look, how healthy. So the physical body also shows, all the signals. If the inner being is healed, the face shows that glow. And when the inner being is damaged, full of bandages inside, then the face is just like the other picture, completely sad. And you'll find certain such people in your life, right? Where their face only, it looks like they'll cry any moment now. Their lips almost are upside down. So it's very interesting that how our face, our voice, everything changes when this inner being changes. Then it's important to ask, if all of us want to be healed, we want to be happy, we want to be healthy, emotionally healthy, then why do we create wounds? Really, it is our own ego. It's a very subtle ego that gets satisfied. I am so kind. This world has been so mean to me. I deserved better because I'm so sweet. But this world does not understand my value. In a very subtle way, we are trying to tell that we are way better than others, that others don't deserve us. And, here at Brahma Kumaris, we are taught, if you are so good, if you are so kind, forgive those people, na? Then they will say, no, how can I? They were so rude to me. But you are claiming to be, you are very kind, then you should forgive. So then at least tell the ego that, hey, you're saying you're kind, but after all, you're not so kind that you're able to forgive them. You're only a kindergartner level in kindness. You're not a PhD in kindness. A person who's really kind will be able to forgive anyone. And we say they should treat us better. But when we are leading a life of pain, bitterness, are we really being fair towards ourselves? When we continuously cry, are we really treating ourselves good? So we expect others to treat us well, but we are living a life of addictions, misery, sadness, and that is not treating the self good. We are being our own enemies. And before we move on to healing, what are the options to heal ourselves? I would like to quickly talk about some wrong beliefs that cause us to sustain inner wounds. Till we have these beliefs, no matter how many classes we take on self-healing, healing ourselves, it will not work. And what are these wrong beliefs? The first one we already talked about, where we blame others. And here at Brahma Kumaris, we are taught the one who blames others for their misery will suffer forever. Till you are blaming, you are suffering. It's literally you're pointing one finger at someone. We all know 4 fingers are pointing towards us. We are taking these 4 fingers and pricking our wounds. The more you blame others, that is, others are responsible to heal me, the more the suffering will increase day by day. And the moment you take responsibility that I am responsible for my inner health, nobody in this world is responsible. to keep me happy, peaceful, and loving. It is my responsibility. Everything starts changing. Healing begins. And some people have this, again, another wrong belief. They say, yeah, I will live a life of misery. I will not let go of this hurt. I will live in this pain because this will prevent me from getting more wounds from others. So I live a life of a wounded victim because this will prevent me from getting more wounds. And we all know whether we have one wound or two wounds. A wound is a wound, pain is a pain. So we are saying that I will live a life of pain so that I don't get more pain. Doesn't make any sense. But ego is so deceptive that it causes us to live a very, very deceptive life. And then third, incorrect belief. Many people think if you tell them, forgive it, let go of that past, they'll say, very hard. You don't know what happened to me, what they did to me. Very easy for you to tell. It is very hard. And then if you ask them, are you saying that it is easy to lead a life of pain? Are you saying it's easy? It's hard to let go and be happy, but it is easy to remain in that wounded state in misery. Really? We have to ask ourselves these questions. We are the children of ocean of love, ocean of forgiveness, God. For us, it is very easy to forgive. We are living in a very wrong belief that a human being cannot forgive. It is wrong. We can easily forgive. Now, many people also say holding on to hurt is self-compassion. This whole world, they don't understand me. They don't know how good of a person, how gem of a person I am. They don't deserve me. They don't understand me. At least let me understand myself. Let me feel sorry for myself. They think self-pity is a way of loving themselves. It's only here at Brahmakumaris that my eyes were completely opened. Love is such a powerful, positive energy. It will never cause you to cry, remain sad, and become weak. It will uplift you. It will empower you. What kind of a love this is for the self that is allowing me to live a life of misery. This is not self-compassion. I would like to call it self-destruction. Really, here I am being my own enemy. This is not being friend. I'm being my enemy when I am crying. This is not understanding the self. If I understood myself, I would understand my primary need is to experience love, peace, happiness. And after understanding my need, I would work on meeting that requirement. It's not anybody's responsibility to meet my need. I have to meet it. So if I'm not meeting my responsibility, I'm not compassionate towards myself. Now, finally, we'll start talking about options for self-healing. When somebody is speaking ill, not behaving well with us, in a way, they are sending negative energy towards us. So when the energy is coming towards us, people in this world use 3 options to handle that energy. And I at least did not know about the third option here that I'm going to talk about. I only knew about 2 options before joining this organization. The first one is absorption. That energy comes, I consume it, I keep creating in my mind thoughts, why did they do this to me? I've never been mean to them. I've gone out of my way to help them. Why would they treat me like this? This is using their words, creating lot of pain, lot of thoughts. They gave me negative energy. I took it. Now I am absorbed, completely consumed by those words. Such people end up being addicts. They have severe addiction issues. They also end up being a patient of depression, which is one of the biggest problem in this world. Many people in our family who are living with us are actually affected by depression. We don't know it yet. They don't feel like eating, they don't feel like mingling with others. These are all early symptoms of depression. In US, 1 in 4 are being diagnosed. That is, one member in a family is being diagnosed with depression. Second is reflection. Negative energy came to me. I give back that same energy to others. This is called copycat behavior. If you're nice to me, I will be nice to you. If you're mean to me, I will also be mean to you. What is your own personality? Well, I don't know. It's your personality. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice. But if you're mean, I am mean. So, in many ways, we lose our own individuality. We lose our grace, our qualities when we start copying others. So, this is a very childish kind of behavior. Somebody yelled at me, they sent me a lot of negative energy. We also insult them back. And this tit tat or tit for tat or ping pong game continues. And many times it happens in the house itself, in between family members, between parents and kids, between partners, between siblings. Imagine the aura of that house where this ping pong game, reflection, copycat of that behavior is going on. Such a house is going to be very chaotic, no peace. Third option, if the negative energy comes, I don't absorb it, I don't reflect it back, but I take that energy, I transform it with wisdom, with my inner powers. Soul has such amazing powers, Atmik Shakti, Andruni Shaktiyan, which we are not using at all. We are so outwardly focused, busy on our gadgets, that we rarely focus on our inner strengths. But when a person learns the art of using their inner strength, the wisdom, they can transform that negative energy, change into positive, store only positive inside, and also send that positive energy to that other person. Obviously, that other person is wounded. That's why they're sending wounds my way. So this person who's using transformation as the option not only stays healed, but can be the instrument to heal the other person too. There can't be a more bigger charity than this, that someone comes to be your enemy, but they end up being your biggest friend, your well-wisher. So how do we go about transforming the energy? There are 3 options for this as well. And let's start with the first one. We've been talking about, the world doesn't understand me, let me understand myself, and compassion for the self, which was not really compassion, it was destruction. So instead of trying to understand myself, let me try to understand the other person's point of view. What might have happened? Why are they being so mean or rude or disrespectful? Whatever that behavior was, let me understand their situation. What might have gone wrong? Maybe they never had love in their life. Maybe nobody gave them any attention. And that is why they get hurt very easily and they hurt others. Nobody can hurt you till they have hurt inside of you. Remember, we talked about, if you take pain, you will give pain. So this person who's come to give me pain obviously received pain from somebody else. So this monster who's trying to hurt me is really not a complete monster. They were also wounded by somebody else. They didn't know better and they created wounds. So when we start thinking about the other person, there is a mercy, our biggest quality. It starts arising in us. And we are able to overlook their words and say, okay, right now I'm not going to talk. There's something wrong. I will try to understand this later. Second option is to self-reflect. Why is it that their words are hurting me? Suppose a person comes and starts yelling, what is this kind of work you finished? Such a bad quality. I can't believe you don't even know how to do such basic things. I can't believe I gave this work to you. Suppose somebody comes and says all that about me. Now, if I am hurt because of what they said, I have to check why. Why are their words hurting me? First of all, check whatever they said, is that right? If it is right, then great. They told me, well, they should have said in a more respectful manner. I will talk to them about it that, hey, you could have told that to me in a more respectful manner. But they were right. They're my friend. They told me about a weakness. I can work on it. I can overcome it. What's wrong in that? Great. But if there was no fault in my work and this person is just being mean for the sake of being mean, or someone who likes to find fault even though there is no fault, then that's okay. That's okay. I know who I am. I know my capabilities. I believe in myself. Just because they said I am a Dumbo doesn't mean I am a Dumbo. When we base our self-respect on others' words, that's when we get hurt. But if you develop your inner powers, when you develop your confidence, then others can say whatever they want. Because I want to continue working and becoming more confident, I'll go and talk to them saying, hey, you told me all this. I don't understand. What was wrong in my work? Can you please clarify? But their words will not hurt me because I know who I am. But till we don't know who I am, we will depend on others to tell us who we are. And if others tell us you are a fool, then obviously we are going to be hurt. We are expecting everyone to tell us you are smart, you are kind, you are fair. But if they don't tell us that, we are hurt. So here at Brahma Kumaris, we are taught who you really are. Understand yourself. Don't depend on others to tell you who you are. Third option, the law of karma. Whatever energy I had sent in the past is coming back to me. This could be in this birth, it could be in the previous births, but I was responsible. So I have tried all three methods, and they've worked beautifully with me. I had some relationships that were not perfect. They were not very bitter, luckily, but they were not perfect. There was some here and there friction. So in my meditation, I brought this individual and I apologized to them, saying, I don't remember what I have done, but I know I sent you some negative energy. Sincerely sending you heartfelt apology. And for your own sake, I hope you're able to forgive and forget, because I know you must be in pain trying to hurt me. And I also forgive you for what you're doing now to me. So this is called taking ownership. I'm not blaming myself, nor am I blaming them. We own this problem equally. This is called karmic settlement. So when you understand this really well, then nothing can hurt you anymore. Their words will come, but you know why they are being the way they are. It doesn't mean you take trash from others. Oh, and thinking, oh, yeah, they're being disrespectful. I must have been in my previous birth. Let them talk ill. Let them hit me. No, absolutely not. This knowledge is only to not create pain, to understand that you are responsible for this scene that is coming in your life. But if somebody is behaving ill with you, you should certainly speak up, because it's your responsibility to maintain your self-respect. And if somebody is insulting, It might be, I might not immediately say because this person has lost their senses, is really mad, but I might go back later and tell them that, hey, I would not like anybody to talk to me like this. If you think this is the way you're going to address me, let's take a break. We're not going to talk to each other. So, karma does not mean I give my hands down and take the trash from others. Neither does it mean that I give trash to others. It really is a very deep understanding that energy exchange is happening. Now, over the long journey that we all have been, we are souls and energy that cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. We've been on a very long journey. And in this long journey, we've created, many wounds. We don't even know. We might only know about the wounds from this life. But previous lives too, we were wounded, we left our body. So, don't know how many wounds exist in our subconscious. And such wounds have weakened the soul. And such a soul cannot heal itself on its own. If you think about it, there is infinite number of libraries in this world and even more higher number of books in this world. So much knowledge on the web. But yet, people are not able to implement that knowledge in their life. Why? Cigarette smoking is injurious. Everybody knows. Yet they are not able to give up that cigarette. Why? No willpower. No, in that small cigarette, they lose the battle. They're saying, I can't. This cigarette is ruling me. So there is one power in this world that remains powerful forever. The highest spiritual energy, Supreme Soul, God Himself. Here at Brahmakumaris, we are taught Raj Yoga meditation, where the soul connects to the Supreme Soul. And for me, I come from a religion where the concept of God does not really exist. So it was a leap of faith, but I wanted to experiment. I said, all right, why not? Let me try it. And I started seeing such miraculous changes in me. Love was becoming more natural for me. Peace without any reason was becoming easy, effortless. Earlier for me to be peaceful, I had to take early morning walks, listen to some music. If I had to be happy, I had to call some friends, watch something, do something. Now, with this meditation, when I connect to the ocean of love, ocean of peace, God, I experience a deep peace within me naturally. I don't have to make effort. Without any reason, I am peaceful. People who are even rude to me, I can experience respect for them. These changes are miraculous, and miraculous changes can only happen from the one God who's called Jadugar, magician. Only He can transform you like this. So I feel the soul is in a very weak state on its own, just basis of knowledge. It cannot heal itself. It needs the power from the highest spiritual energy, God. And the more you stay in His company, not only you receive the power to forgive others, you also start experiencing lot of love and peace. Many different inner powers start emerging. And one slogan here used to always attract me. Being nice to someone who's nice to you is called manavta, which is human. Someone who's nice to you and you are being mean to them, it's called danavta, which is being devilish. But the third one said, the one who's being utterly mean to you, you are being nice to them. That is called Devata, elevated soul, a deity soul. And we are indeed a very, very elevated creation of God, the most beautiful creation of God. And our abilities are to forgive even the people who are mean to us. There is a reason behind their being mean. So with that, we are pretty much coming close to the webinar. This is the last slide. And I just want to leave with some questions for you to reflect upon. Indeed, healing cannot begin till we stop hurting, right? We can't be like, I will never forgive that person. I will keep all that past garbage in my inside of me, and I will still heal myself. Let me go and learn meditation. Let me forgive. No, that is not possible. It is not possible. You have to first let go. You can let go only when you have forgiven. Till you don't forgive, you cannot forget. So this hurting is like literally visualize every time you think about some bitter past. Visualize yourself inside of a cage where a lot of thorns are pricking your heart. Every thought, why did they do this to me? They shouldn't have done this to me. This is like creating a cage of thorns and pricking our own heart. Can anybody other than ourselves free us from this painful life? We are the ones who are creating these wounds. Indeed, only we can free ourselves from this cage. Isn't our natural quality to forgive, to love, to accept everyone? It is not our natural quality to be angry, right? And this easy way to check this is before you're going to sleep, would you ever, when you're very happy that day, would you say, oh man, I can't sleep because I'm not angry. My natural quality is to be angry. Once that anger comes, I'll be able to fall asleep. Makes no sense, right? Because we always want to be peaceful, loving, and happy when we are going to sleep. We cannot sleep otherwise. We never invite fear, anger, sadness before going to sleep, would we? Because that's not our natural state. And you cannot fall asleep till you are not in your natural state. So keep telling, forgiving is my natural personality. It is easy for me. And instead of asking, demanding others to come and apologize, we should actually apologize to our own self for taking so much of trash of other people's bitter words and keeping it inside our most secret place, sacred place, heart, where, love for others, love for God should sit. We have stored such bitter memories and we have pricky thorn like thoughts. So we've been hurting ourselves. So shouldn't we be apologizing to our own self? We are waiting for others to apologize. Let's apologize our own self instead. With that, we come to the end of the presentation. I would like to conduct a short meditation, and after that, we will have a Q&A session. So feel free to pose your questions related to this topic. That would be better if the questions are related to this topic. We'll try our best to answer your questions. But let's start with a short meditation. Let's bring attention to the middle of the forehead, between the eyebrows, where I, the soul, the shining star, resides. In this long journey, I've spent time taking care of others, taking care of family, people, work, physical health. But I have never given any time to my own self. My inner being has cried many times for my attention. I have ignored it. Let me take this time to heal myself. First, by accepting myself with open arms, hugging myself. I am beautiful the way I am. I am perfect. And slowly, I bring up one individual with whom I've had a bitter past. I connect to the Supreme Being, absorb His powers, and I send it to this soul. Apologize to you, my dear soul. I'm sending you God's power. I hope you're able to forgive and heal yourself. And I am a child of ocean of forgiveness, God. I forgive you for whatever you have done. I feel light. I feel free like a bird. My heart is warming up and it is beating again with love. I'm an embodiment of love, a being of love, the most elevated creation of God. Thank you, God, for always accepting me and taking care of me. Om Shanti. If anybody has questions, feel free to post them on the chat.
Thank you so much, sister. We have a question that has come up. So the sister asked that, is it correct to disconnect the relations, like stop talking or not going to their homes or etc., who always gives us sorrow? Is that the appropriate way to get healed?
Yeah, a lot of times, that's one of the options we use, avoid, physically disconnect. And we think that we can also mentally disconnect. But then many times what ends up happening is that physically we disconnect. We say we don't meet them, we won't go to them. But then mentally we keep thinking about them. Our emotions keep getting hurt. So I think, yes, indeed, if someone is being very abusive, they don't change, we've talked to them nicely, we've told them that we don't like to be treated like this, then yes, that might be one of the options. But it's always good to check internally, have I forgiven them or am I still holding on to hurt? So as long as our intent is not to escape from this situation, but we have really, worked on every different option, but we don't find anything else, then yes, that might be one option.
So, sister, with this response, I actually have one more question. How do we understand that when should we stop? We have tried all the options. As per my understanding, I can think that after trying for first attempt or second attempt, I can say that yes, I'm done with it. I'm not going to make more efforts. So is that the appropriate way to make a judgment for myself that, okay, this is the time that I should stop talking and maybe this is the way that I'm going to heal myself? Or is there something else that we have to work on?
Yeah, so healing really does not mean that, I should remain healed, whether I'm meeting this person once, twice, or thrice, or if I cannot avoid them. Many times we actually live with people who are constantly little difficult to work with, right? It could be someone in your office, in your own home. So how many jobs can you change? And it's not easy to change your relatives, right? Your
Right.
parents or your siblings. So I think it's important to understand what are some things I can change internally. Am I being very less tolerant? Am I not being very adjusting? What are some things that I am lacking? This might be a good time to do some self reflection and check on it, and then think about basically maybe keeping some distance from them. But I would feel that that would be really the last option.
Okay, that's helpful. We have another small question, that is, how do we resolve conflicts? Maybe the brother or the sister is asking in the day-to-day situation, like if they have come into multiple conflicts. So trying to resolve them might get a bit difficult and drain their energy again and again. So would you like to throw some light on this?
Yeah. Conflict actually, there are multiple conflict. One conflict is between what is the other person saying and what am I saying. There's a disagreement. But there are a lot of conflicts that we create here also. This person they might have said one word. We sit here and create a commentary. We exaggerate that. We create more conflicts inside of us where we are not sure. Did they mean this? Did they mean that? So the real conflict actually starts here. So if I
Right.
start cleaning that conflict inside of me and say, okay, whatever they said, they said. If I don't understand it, let me go and talk to them. But hey, what did you mean by this? Did you mean this? If so, I can clarify. I did not mean this, right? So having an open communication channel, and this open communication channel does not mean that I just go and talk and I don't listen to that other person. Open communication means I'm going with the intent of understanding the other person with the humility that I have not understood them. Whatever this mind is telling me is not right. We have to understand this point really well. This mind is an illiterate. Why is it an illiterate? Because we have not spiritually educated it. It is a spiritual illiterate. It creates all kinds of stories. This person must have thought that, they're doing this, they're going to do that. It keeps telling us all stories and we believe it, saying, yeah, yeah. And more conflicts get created. So go with this attitude that, hey, you told me one story, I don't believe it. I want to understand from this other person. So I'm going to go with an open mind and have an open communication. So if they tell me something that what my mind said and what they're saying is not in agreement, I will believe in them, not in what my mind is telling me. So conflicts can be resolved only when a person becomes humble and says, I want to understand because I have misunderstood thanks to my illiterate mind. And for me, really, this last 7 years at Brahma Kumaris has been on educating my mind. Every day feeding it a lot of positive knowledge. And most of you, I'm sure, are connected with this organization. Daily spiritual discourse we have here, Murli class. Spiritual gems are shared. One day, 2 day, a week is not enough. This is a real illiterate. We need to give it daily dose to uplift it. That is when we can understand people better.
Right. So daily practice is mandatory. Is it right, sister?
Absolutely. Discipline in self development, I would say number one thing is discipline. Every day, routine is very, very important.
Right. So, a small question from my end. If suppose for extremely a new person, beginner who is really wanting to heal themselves, and the points that you have told are absolutely great. So, what do you suggest? Like, how long should a person sit with himself and try to, just down the points that actually what is the deep root of causing this kind of wounds, and connect with the supreme soul, do take the entire energy from him and try to do a transformation, right? So for any new beginner, what do you exactly suggest? Like, how long would this entire process would take, or every day how much time should he spend with, or that person should spend with himself? in order to, get a quick results of, I am healing. So that means I am happy, I am peaceful, and whatever is that.
Yeah, yeah. No, great point. Um, as you know, I live in America, a very,
Mhm.
very busy life,
Right.
and I'm a working mother, and I have a family, and as I cook my own food. I don't get food from outside. We don't have the concept of servants in US, so everything is done by hands. Groceries, everything. You have to go and get your groceries, get whatever you need, and do everything, right? So a busy person like me did not even have 1 minute to spare when I
Right.
came into this knowledge. But then I said, all right, this sounds so appealing. I will take out 30 minutes of my life, right? So I cut down my sleep a little bit, and 30 minutes I dedicated every day. I just started with 10 to 15 minutes of meditation, 10 to 15 minutes of reading. I didn't even know that there was a center where I was living actually. So I did a lot of it online and by myself. Much later, I found out that there is a center. So I now very much connected to that center and everything. But I saw such amazing changes, just that knowledge that, all the concepts made so much sense that I felt very relaxed, that I am responsible. I need to take care. I have the power to heal myself. And I knew it's not going to happen just like that. But every day, as I was going through this journey, that first month, I felt so light. And the amazing thing was within a month or two, I lost like 10 pounds or something. Not that I was overweight anytime, but when you become so emotionally light and healthy, a lot of body fat is stored in the stomach area for this fire and flight kind of situations. All these hormones, for that, a lot of fat is stored there. But when you are not fighting anymore, you're not flying anymore, then the body says, oh my gosh, Meghna is so peaceful, this fat is not needed. It starts shedding it off. So within a month, I started seeing a lot of changes in me. Indeed, it's a whole process, it takes time, but every day you will certainly see some positive change in you.
So in your case, it was when you're healing inside, it was reflecting outside too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's really nice. Okay, so every day, let's make sure that we at least spend 30 minutes with ourselves so that, we can make through progress in this particular life where we want to stay healed and also show that thing to others as well.
Yep.
Sister, we have one more last question, I guess. That is the question is like how to control words. Probably the question more spins around in case if we are very angry. So we don't even have control on what kind of language we are using or the words that we are using. So how do you suggest? I mean, what kind of things that you suggest here?
Yeah. Very nice example is shared in Brahmakumari's here. If in your closet you keep stuffing clothes after clothes after clothes, after some time, that closet door will open by itself. You
Right.
don't need to do anything, right? So if here inside I'm stuffing, they are so mean, they shouldn't have done this to me. I can't believe I've told them so many times not to do this. They keep doing it. I don't know when they will change. This is what I'm stuffing, stuffing and stuffing and stuffing. Every time I see them, I keep stuffing this. One day, this mouth door will open, the closet will open, and I will spit out those words. So it's not like, here at Brahmakumaris, we are not taught this, easy things. Oh, say this 10 days, say these things, and then those words will not come out. No. Oh, every time you see them, start chanting some mantra. All right, those things might work sometimes. We are always taught to heal from inside. The root cause, where is it? Here. I have to stop stuffing. What am I stuffing? I need to find some good things about that person, or I need to forgive that person. Till I don't change that, this will remain open. I won't be able to control it.
So you suggest that we need to focus of what is going inside.
Absolutely, yes.
That's really helpful, sister. So do we have any other questions? Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. Okay. I guess there are no questions from the audience. So, sister, thank you so much for, such an amazing session. Personally, I loved it a lot because you have brought up such a great points. And I would say that the two important points that I loved from the session is whatever is going inside reflects outside. So that means if you are sending a lot of love inside, so you have to, I mean, will definitely reflect the same thing outside. And the and another point is transformation, where you told that yes, that is very obvious. The copycat kind of thing is very obvious, that if you give me, I will give you that. But yes, giving someone who is very mean to you, but you are being very nice to that person, is an absolute great quality. Thank you so much, sister. It was really amazing session.
Sister, one
So,
small question.
and I'm sure everyone have would definitely love this session. So I would request everyone to go ahead and like the Santi Sarovar Hyderabad YouTube channel, because you will be tuned with amazing topics going forward, and you can definitely attend these sessions as and when you get the updates. Thank you so much, everyone. Om Shanti.
Thank you, everyone. Om Shanti.